Hi kids, do you like violence? Welcome to Text to a Video. This is the Jakl. I would like to especially thank PSA for sending this to me. I've been affiliated with them for 2 years now. However, unfortunately I run into people that are like, oh, he's a fucking shill. My tone now is the same as it was before, and it's the same for me for any company that I like their shit. So the guys that scream and autistically are like, you're the shill, like, you just have to ignore those guys, I guess, because they're retarded. But they sent this to me. They've never sent me a gun. All the big mountain stack of AKs and ARs that I own from them came out of my pocket. And if PSA was a piece of shit, I wouldn't have a stack of their stuff. So people that make those claims are full of shit. Do they have issues? Yeah, they make more than damn near everybody out there. So they're going to have some hiccups. QC can be worked on, but it comes at a cost. You're going to pay more. So buy your stuff, check it out. If it works like it should, which it probably will. If it not, send it back, they'll fix it. You know, if you ain't got the patience for that, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I have so much shit that, like, if I have to send something back, I'm going to have 500 other things to mess with while that thing is gone. Like, I just don't understand the logic. It's not convenient, I understand that, but, you're going to have to choose your battles. You should have already seen by now, this is a monolithic upper. I like it. It's really pretty that way. Guys were complaining about price point on these. They did want to release them cheaper, but in the long run, after COVID and everything else, like, at what point what are you going to do? This isn't a mil spec upper. Compared to the Foxtrot mic, like that right there, like that's quieter than the G3s that I've messed with that are, charged up like that. So it's already quieter than those. It charges easier than those. And then the Foxtrot mic I got to handle when I picked this up was it sounded like a friggin' rusty old bed spring or something. Like, it was just grindy, gritty, squeaky. I was like, yeah. Everybody that said just get a Foxtrot mic upper, fuck that pile of shit. That thing is a mil-spec upper that was made to work with a gas system. Like, I don't even know if they even tried to mimic the Brownell's VRN 180 or anything. Like, that thing is a noisy bastard. It tells me they just made it work. They didn't put a lot of engineering into it. It's lighter. They do win that. Like, the thing was lighter than this. But like I said, look at the design. Monolithic. It's just going to be more weight, which is fine by me. Mama didn't raise no bitch. But otherwise, I'm trying to see what I hate about it, man. I can't come up with anything. I'll change the muzzle device. I'll probably see if I can do a blast can or something, just because this is close enough at this rate. I don't need flash suppressant. I just want to blast the obnoxiousness away from me. I'd like to see if I can get a CNC Warrior for this. I do have a VCM grip. I'll probably change the spring. Like this spring. I'll probably change the trigger just because there's other options. Trigger guard, because I have them laying around. I'll change the safety to something that's just not as mil-specky, because I'll probably have something in a box somewhere. If not, whatever. Man. I'm not really seeing anything that stands out to make me want to bitch about it. Like, I'm really not. It's a pretty gun. Like, this is one of their better looking guns. I mean, because you have... The problem I have with anything PSA, honestly, is their standard stuff now. I used to love it because it was new to me. Now that I've had so much of it, and I do own a bunch of it, I'll be scrolling through stuff, see other PSA. I own a lot of it or similar. This, it looks completely different. So you just got this different handguard altogether that's just, like, it's just definitely visually appealing to me. Some people probably think this thing's ugly as sin, but everybody's got an opinion, right? So otherwise, I did not come with the aim point. I thank PSA for sending this to me. I've been working on it for a couple months to see if they were going to send me one like they said they wanted to. And I don't really have nothing like that makes me think, I'm not gonna like this. So I can't wait to shoot it. I'm gonna abuse it. I'm probably gonna tear it down, run a bunch of rounds through it. Sorry for the poor lighting. My power's out. I'm running off a generator. I'll upload this later. But yeah, man. Thanks those guys for that. Jamming McCallum, and God, man, Chad Wiley. I mean, all those guys up there. I know several of them. Get to talk to them here and there. Cameron, Cameron's their AK guy. I haven't talked much with their guy that really focuses on the dagger stuff. I'd like to, just for peace of mind. I did get to see the dagger in its early stages when I went out to South Carolina. Like, legit, like this thing didn't exist at that point. They were like milling a slide, and that's when I was like, is that a Glock 19 slide? And the guy that was working on it, we're touring past him. He's like looking for my handler, right? And then they broke down a little bit, and we're like, yeah, this isn't an open thing yet. We're not talking about this. We are making a Gen 3 clone of a Glock. I was like, all right, cool. So little stuff like that. This, if you could see what this looked like back when I knew about it, when it was brand new, it was completely different. Like, it looked nothing like this. It was still cool. I got to play with it, get handsy with it, and I knew it was going to be born. But unfortunately, I actually ended up sharing a couple of pictures of that, and they're like, hey, if y'all took pictures of that, don't share it. I was like, shit. So I'm like deleting stuff, and people are like, hey, where'd that cool picture go? I'm like, I screwed up, So this is it. Like, it finally come to fruition. That was like a couple years ago, and now I have a final product, man. Excellent options for this. Some people are on budget. That's why a lot of people like PSA stuff, because you get stuff that works. When we go to the range, shoot paper, like PSA is the way to go. Like, you're shooting paper. If you have a PSA and want to upgrade it over time, you can make a PSA reliable. Good bolt carrier group, trigger group, charger handle. What do you want? It's going to run. It's going to run. Hell, some guys tell me they jokingly ran through AR courses with a PSA and it held together just fine, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's Toolcraft bolt carrier group. No spec's no spec. I mean, if everything's in spec, it's going to run. But you can make them reliable. This is an $1,100 gun. So if you're on a budget and you like your little $500 ARs, this might not be the way for you. But now they do offer the upper, this adapter right here. This is part of the lower that you add to it because it's a mil-spec lower. So this little piece right here, this actually bolts in. Like, you can get the upper, this, grip, trigger, stock, this pick rail's built onto this adapter. If you do all that, I want to say things like $800. So if you want to put one of these together and not spend $1,100 and you have a stripped lower, boom, there it is. There's also, they will sell you just the upper with or without this. I can't remember. I know they changed it up. This is all you have to run this, really. From there, you're responsible for this, your grip, trigger, anything else. That's even cheaper. So those of you that are budget minded, that don't want to spend $1,100 and you have a lower that's ready to go, not stripped, but ready, you can spend even less. I want to say it was like $6.5 or something. I can't remember. My brain doesn't remember all those details. But very good options for those of you that want a piston-driven AR upper, but don't want a FM or a BRN 180 is going to charge from the right. So that's the downside to that. It's very much AK-ish. So I want one just to collect because they're supposed to be made pretty well. And there's kind of a cool factor with it. This is, in my opinion, probably going to be a little better than that as far as how I operate left-handed for charging my weapon. And yeah, man, I can't wait to shoot this thing. Like, those guys very, very much made me happy sending this to me because, I mean, they've never sent me a gun before. I've got a couple other optics and triggers and whatnot and tested it, and they've always been stellar. So this will be the first one that was like, hey, here you go, run the shit out of it, let us know what you think. And I'm going to. I can't wait. Now it's giving me a reason to look forward to buying some ammo to waste and schedule a time to go out there and abuse this. Need to do the ARV as well. I haven't done a review on that, and I love that little gun as well. It's only eating still case, but this is unfired. This will be fired only on video at first because that's just how I want to do it. So you guys get the full experience of if there's any malfunctions or any issues, you're going to see it. I don't hide anything. As much as people like to call me a shill. My PSA K74, I still got to send that back. It was an initial release, and it had some blown primer pocket blown primer end up in the firing pin channel, so it causes some issues, and they've resolved that. I just have to send it back. Otherwise, the big massive pile of ARs, AKs, and everything else I've got from PSA, I just haven't had a problem with it to where I can be that guy who's recruit PSA's doing. No, they've always worked for me. No complaints, man. So yeah, look forward to seeing this thing getting fired on video as soon as I can. Our weather's been shitty. It's been hot when the sun's out. It's been wet and miserable with the rain. Has been nonstop lately now. So I'll get out there and get done, and need to do some more giveaways pretty soon as well. So we will catch y'all next time.